Hi, my name is Congresswoman Michelle Bachmann. What's taking place in Washington, D.C. right now is nothing short of the deconstruction of America's free market way of life. To be blunt, the strong-arm tactics of the Obama administration's automobile task force and Chrysler are crushing the dreams of so many American business owners and simultaneously putting our future prosperity in jeopardy. Over the last few weeks, I've spoken with a handful of GM and Chrysler car dealerships from my district that have been targeted for closure by President Obama's automobile task force. They were given no reason and really no recourse to challenge their closure. It's as if someone threw a dart at a dartboard to decide which dealerships would be given a pink slip by the government. At one dealership in my district, the owner was FedExed a closure agreement informing them that their highly profitable and long-time dealership was slated for closure and that they had 12 days to sign the agreement or face the consequences. Unbelievably, if they chose not to sign the agreement by the prescribed date, GM would not offer a warranty on any of the remaining cars on their lot. If they challenged the contract in court, the dealers would not only have to pay their own legal fees, but GM's as well, to the tune of $1,500 an hour for legal fees, and that was whether the car dealer won or lost. And even if they opted to sign the agreement, they were obligated to send GM their customer lists and their very valuable service customer lists. It was a lose-lose deal for the owners, who would be taking it on the chin no matter what their decision. As the owner stressed to me, tactics like this are not the America that they know and love. In fact, it was columnist Michael Barone who likened the actions of the Obama Auto Task Force to the tactics of a gangster government, and I couldn't agree more. What's worse, with big government Washington in the middle of all this, these auto dealership closures and all the business decisions of Chrysler and GM are being based on political considerations instead of sound business principles. Today, consumers and businessmen aren't deciding what cars should be manufactured or which dealership should be successful or how much advertising is enough. That's the sovereign choice of the consumer. No, instead, big government is making these decisions, with Barack Obama as the CEO and Congress as the board of directors. And government is simply not equipped to do this. It's been reported recently that members of Congress and the Senate are calling GM or Chrysler, or they're calling the Obama-appointed Chrysler, in order to keep their dealerships and their distribution plants open. Well, that's what congressmen do. They advocate for their constituents, nothing wrong in that. But while those might be the right political decisions, I think we should all understand that if Congress is in the boardroom, the corporation's decisions will likely benefit big government rather than privately owned and run businesses. And companies should stand on their own merits, not on their political pull to save their business. There are some in Congress speaking up against the actions of this automobile task force, but not enough, especially among those in the Democrat majority who are making the decisions here now. They control both the Senate and the House and the White House. They control every lever of power in Washington, D.C. I'm co-sponsoring legislation that will hopefully protect these dealerships from having to accept an offer they can't refuse. And I'm looking into whatever legal options might be available for Congress to give these dealerships a fighting chance. But standing up against this legislation is GM itself. GM is formerly a great company. That's not my quarrel with GM. But GM has changed because now GM is owned by the federal government. And GM is against my legislation. GM is officially pitting dealers against one another. GM has given its viable dealers talking points and even a telephone script to use while talking to their members of Congress, urging them to oppose this bill aimed at protecting the dealerships slated for closure. Again, this is simply wrong. The American dream, I think you will agree, is in need of saving, but it's up to all of us to work hard to save it, and that's why we're here. I'm urging you to please contact your member of Congress and demand that President Obama stop pulling the rug out from under private businesses. Thank you for listening. And would you please do me a favor, forward this message to your friends, to your family, and together let's spread the word. We can make our voices heard if we send this email out. Thank you. Thanks for listening. I'm Michelle Bachmann.